The Lantern of Old Mill Road. Old Mill Road was a forgotten path winding through the countryside, lined with overgrown trees and abandoned cottages. The locals told tales of a ghostly lantern that appeared at the end of the road on foggy nights, guiding lost souls. One autumn evening, Jess, a young woman studying folklore, decided to investigate the legends surrounding Old Mill Road. Armed with her camera, a notebook, and a warm coat, she set out just as the sun dipped below the horizon and the fog began to roll in. The road was eerily quiet, the only sound being the crunch of leaves under her boots. As she walked deeper into the fog, Jess felt a sense of foreboding, but was driven by her curiosity. After walking for what felt like hours, she reached an old, dilapidated mill at the end of the road. The mill, covered in ivy and neglect, stood as a silent witness to the past. Jess entered cautiously, her flashlight illuminating the dark interior. Dust motes floated in the beam of light, and the sound of dripping water echoed in the empty space. As she explored the mill, she suddenly saw a faint light in the distance, a soft, flickering glow. It was the lantern from the legends drifting gently through the fog. Jess followed the light with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The lantern led her to a small, hidden room at the back of the mill. Inside, Jess found a dusty wooden table with old maps, letters, and a journal. The journal belonged to a man named Henry Lawson, the last miller of the old mill. His entries reveal that he had been a kind and respected figure in the town, but his life had been cut short by a tragic accident. While trying to save his mill from flooding, one entry stood out: "The mill will be lost, but my soul is restless. I must guide others who are lost, so they do not share my fate." As Jess read these words, the lantern's light grew brighter and then dimmed, revealing the ghostly figure of Henry. He appeared as a man in worn but sturdy clothes, his face marked by the sorrow of his untimely death. "Thank you for finding my journal," Henry said in a voice that was both gentle and mournful. "I have been waiting for someone to hear my story." Jess spoke to Henry with empathy, sharing what she had learned and promising to tell his story to the world. Henry's expression softened as he listened, and the sadness in his eyes began to fade. "Now that my story is told, I can finally rest," Henry said, his form beginning to dissolve into the soft light of the lantern. As Henry's spirit faded, the lantern's light grew faint and then extinguished. The fog lifting from the road, Jess left the mill with a sense of fulfillment, knowing she had helped a soul find peace.